I want you to know that you're not alone. And I know you feel alone right now. Anybody on the path to creating the life that they want to live, anybody trying to be the best version of themselves, anybody trying to go against the grain or do something great, goes through periods in the journey where they feel completely alone. You feel isolated. Why? You're trying to become this person, this character, this idea of your best self. And in that creation, the old you almost has to die. And in that period, you are now in a period of discovery. Okay. So, what does the person that I want to be, what do they do? How do they think? How do they move? How do they act? How do they do life the way that I want to do life, this new person? And so you're separating from your old self, maybe your old life, your old friends, your old finances, your old jobs, whatever that may be. And when you're stepping into this new person, the middle ground of who I was and who I want to become is lonely. But the good thing is we have this narrative that runs in our head that nobody could ever understand what we're going through. You have no idea. I feel so alone. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do next. Everybody has gone through this. Anybody that's ever dared greatly has gone through this exact moment that you're going through right now. But I'm telling you that this moment is so necessary. You have to isolate. You you have to get away from all influences, in, especially the influences that were from your previous self or your previous life that you're trying to step away from. These you have to separate yourself from this. And then while you're standing in the middle in this journey, the hardest thing that I feel like you're going to go through is pulling back to the old you, right? The old friends, the comfort that was there. Because understand this, your brain wants comfort, your brain wants predictability. You are designed for safety. You are not designed for risk. You are not designed for uncertainty. So this body and this brain don't like this, okay? So that feeling that you're feeling is also normal when you're stepping into this new person, you're stepping in this new version of yourself. All normal. And again, not only is it normal, it has to happen. And if you want different for your life, if you want to become this person and this have this life and this to pursue your purpose and your mission, which is your birthright, this not only has to happen, the longer that you avoid it, you're literally just prolonging getting to or forming into this person that you want to be. For the longest time, I avoided this uncertainty. I avoided this risk, which I'll get into in a little bit, that all of this risk is your perception. You literally just make it up. All of these ideas that you create about what could happen if this went wrong, what could happen if this, what if I lose this, what if I lose that? You're literally creating ideas that usually end up happening. So if you can shift your thoughts over into, because at this point, we don't know, right? We don't know if these things are going to happen. We don't know if we're going to lose our money. We don't know, if we're going to, all these things that we create in our head. None of these ideas have actually happened. So before I dive in even more, if you are doing this, stop this right now. Stop diving into what you don't want to happen, because these things have not yet happened yet, and start thinking into the ideas that this is what I would rather have. Okay. And this is a choice. I talked about this a little bit in the last video of how you can flip your mindset and change your life, truly change your life in an instant if you can create the habit of better thinking and not perceiving, again, We oftentimes make up this risk in our head and make up this risk. And because of the thoughts, right? And because of the conversation, the narrative that we tell ourselves, you have just taken time that is completely unnecessary, that is completely unneeded, because you will face this. So if we're going to face this, and if this is the beginner boss, right, in the video game, let's just fight him. Let's fight him now, and then let's move on to the next one, because this is almost a guaranteed in the journey to have this alone kind of feeling. And again, I think it's so necessary because it's so necessary because as humans, we're designed to fit in. You're designed to, again, have safety, have security, and you were pack beings. I don't want to call us animals, but the old ways of thinking in the reptile brain, we're pack animals. So this period of isolation that you will go through is meant to prime you for greatness. Why? Every single person that you look up to, I guarantee, or you have drawing inspiration from, is a person that has stood alone. Most of the time, the people that stand alone are the people that are up to something, right? They understand that this life that everybody else is doing, for myself, in my 20s, drinking, smoking weed, girls, no purpose, no mission, no goals, always seeking pleasure. Because when you get in that period of distraction, or the period you get addicted to the person that you are, again, because it is familiar, because you can guarantee it, because it's certain that I can be this person and feel this type of way, even if I don't like it. But when you go into the person that you want to be, the battle of loneliness and the battle of isolation must happen. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, it will, and it has built me into a man that I admire, right? Being able to stand alone, being able to say, I believe in this. This is what I want to do for myself and for my life. No one's going to fucking talk me out of it. Nobody can talk me out of this. Is the most, I feel like, self-empowerment that I've gotten on the journey. And I'll just give you guys a small example. And you guys all know this story from watching my videos in 2015 when I got in my accident. Went to the hospital, and after all the fiasco with court and all these things and paperwork and everything, I got home and I didn't hear from most of my family. Literally. Cousins that I was close to, aunts and uncles, nobody checked up on me. Nobody reached out to me. And I think looking back, hindsight, 6, 7, 8 years later, that I was being a degenerate, right? I was being a fool. I was definitely on a bad path, but I guess I couldn't even grasp this idea that I'm like, damn, they're not even checking for me. I'm literally laid up, wheelchair, crutches, all this, can't walk, can't work, none of this. And all these people that I assumed, I guess, were close to me are nowhere to be found. And again, I was on a bad path. And I think that they knew I was on a bad path and I was going to get myself hurt. But the thing that you have to have in these moments is vision and faith. Why? For some ungodly reason, I just knew that there was something about this bike that was going to bring me to a different place. And that happened, right? I ended up going on to get into this type of content because of the motorcycle. And when you're in a moment like that where you feel like everything's crashing down, again, can't even walk, can't work, no money, had to move back home, all this shit, feel like my life is crashing down. And you're like, oh, I'll have support, right? I'm not worried, I'll have support. And it's not there. You're like, wow. This can empower you to understand about opinions as well. How, again, I'm in this moment where I feel like everything in my life is crashing down, and the people I thought were going to be there were nowhere to be found. No, these people that I'm discussing that are my family didn't even come to see me at all. So you think, damn, if they're not checking for me, who is, right? And again, you can use that to go, if I go down within what I'm trying to do, none of these people's opinion matters. So why not take that risk when you talk about the isolation of, well, I don't want to do something different because of what they might think, or if I fail, someone's going to say this, someone's going to say that. Honestly, bro, even the people that you think are going to be checking on you might not even be. As crazy as that sounds. And again, I have no harsh feelings at all. It actually was a benefit to me, again, because I took it as, okay, nobody's checking. Like, let me just go out and do what I feel like I'm supposed to do. Because if clearly the opinions don't matter, because when I was down and out, nobody was there. Of course, I had friends and, other family that were there, but the people I truly thought were going to be checking for me weren't. And when I took this lesson again to other parts of my life with relationships and my business specifically, you realize that now that you've taken the risk and you're starting to make progress and you're starting to step into this person you want to be, you start believing a little bit in what it is that you want to do, and you go and take that risk. If you haven't got there, you will. And again, when everything comes crashing down, which I've had happen in my business, had my biggest months that I've ever had, and then boom, the next month have the worst month I've ever had. You look around and nobody's checking for you. Nobody's coming. And I've taken this lesson that I learned in understanding the fact that when you are in this phase of change, stepping into this person that you want to be, that is inside you, that God has called you to be, vision is the most important thing. I see something, okay? You see something about yourself, and you see something in you that needs to come out. You have you feel like a job to do, right? You got something lingering that you're ignoring. You need that. So when you feel alone, this is the fix. You have to keep the vision. You got to stop expecting people to see what only you can see up here. They will see it when it comes to fruition, right? Like people saw it when I did my first speech, right? And I took Bike Life onto a stage where Bike Life doesn't belong, right? And I made it belong there. Now you see it. Now you see why I went through all that. Now you see why I kept pushing. Now you see why I got back up every time I fell, because I knew something was there. I didn't know what it was. When I was smacking the concrete, I had no idea what this was going to turn into being and doing things like this. But I just knew that something was there. The whole goal of this life is progress. The idea that you just break through this stage of life and you break through this, you level up, and that there's not another level to obtain is a fantasy. And it's not this obsessive thing. It's not like destination syndrome, got to get the next level, it's the idea that this is always going to be there. You're always going to want to progress. These moments are going to continue to happen in your journey. When you level up, when you reach a new level, there's going to be another big roadblock or a big obstacle that you have to maneuver through, and it's going to test you, okay? And you're going to feel alone, and you're going to realize nobody's coming. This is on you. But I promise you, this part of building and sculpting you into the person that you're designed to be, and the best version of yourself, and the most competent and the strongest and the most mentally sound. This is the most important part of the journey, is being able to stand alone and see what you see and bring that out, because you've not let all of these moments and all these obstacles and all these phases of sitting here at 1:30 in the morning by yourself because you believe that this type of content is supposed to serve somebody. Breaking through these barriers is the journey. This is the goal. All of everything that you're seeking is a byproduct of what I believe to be this right here, is being able to stand alone, being able to go through these times where, again, you're separating yourself from your old life, your old friends, your old habits, your old finances, and all these things, and then stepping into this new version, this part in between nobody's talking about, because every time you get on the internet, somebody wants to sell you shit. So they're not going to talk about this part right here. And then when you get to this part right here, you feel like you're doing something wrong, right? You've made the decision to level up. Bam, you separated yourself and you're not the person you want to be yet. No one's talking about this part right here. And again, this part right here is where most people fold and most people quit, not understanding that this is the closest that you can get to breaking that next level and being on the other side. So I hope this video served you. I have been in this state literally right now, struggling myself, which is why I made this video. I know I rambled, and but I was speaking from the heart. So again, I hope this video served you. If this resonated and you liked it, comment, share with a friend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.